successful, I will get my next client paying me this amount. And you have to listen to these things, but you have to say positive things to yourself. And this started because, gosh, about 10 years ago, I was speaking to a friend and she said, she said something to me and I said, oh gosh, thank you. She said, why do you get like that when anybody compliments you? She said, you don't believe in yourself, do you? I said, no, I believe that I'm alive and I'm God's child. She said, well, what about all the things that people are telling you? I said, some of them, I don't know. And she said to me, okay, get a pen and a paper. Anytime somebody says something positive to you, write it on there and build it and repeat those things to you. So before long, I had like 30 lines on my sheet. I am beautiful, I am sophisticated, I am talented, I am gifted, and every day I'm saying it. In the first few weeks, I was like, these things I'm saying, which part of it is me? I didn't believe it because my life up until that point didn't show that it was. But then I started realizing that as I repeated it more and more, I started to believe it. Sometimes I walk in and I'm thinking, you know, sometimes I'm telling myself, you are intelligent. Wow, that presentation you did at work was really impressive. And somebody will come and confirm it for me. So I keep telling myself, if I tweak this, I can do it better. If I add this to it, it's going to be more hard-hitting. And it's because I'm telling myself these, because the Bible says, confess good things. Yes, we sit there and say, how can I do this? I'm not good enough. And the thing that plagued my life was a feeling of not being good enough. Now, even if I didn't do that thing well, I'm good enough, I will learn it. And one of the things that I messed up before is, look, representation matters. There are people that have gone before us. We all know caterers. We all know people who have their own businesses, lawyers, whatever. Let's look at them and let's learn from them. There's a guy called Jim Quick, and I was watching YouTube one day, and the advert came in. You know, you can't switch off the advert for 5 seconds away. And what he said was, you want to do things in your life. You want to acquire wealth and so on and so forth. But you don't necessarily want to learn. So I'm sat there, I'm learning. I did the degree, I've learned, you know? And it's like, you don't have to go through everything before you learn. Somebody has been through it before you. 40 years of business. And he's written a book, she's written a book to say, these are the pitfalls, these are the difficult parts, these are the good parts, and this is how you can make all this money. But you bypass the book and go because you want to do 40 years by yourself. The examples are there. The experiences are there. Do you want to die and then come back and say, oh, I know how it feels now, or do you want to get sick? And no, there are so many people that have been through it. They went through this particular operation and this is how they changed their life. Why are we not learning from them? If you want to create another Nando's, go into Nando's, sit there, watch how they operate, and decide that actually, they do this, it's a bit slow. My business, I'm going to do this a bit quicker. Or their customer service is not great, so my selling point is going to be good customer service. Or do you know what? If we gave them free drinks, lots of people will come in and buy food. So let's do that. Let's learn from those examples around us, because if we don't, we are setting ourselves up for long periods of frustration and unhappiness and struggle. It's not necessary. Pick up a book and read. And I brought this book as an example. This is a very small book, as you can see, 88 pages. It took me, 2 hours or something to read it, maybe 3 because I wanted to take notes. But this is an example of a guy who, he was just trying to sell music online. Music from people who weren't signed. So maybe I created a CD and I wanted him to sell it. So he was doing that, and he was doing it for his friends. This business he sold for 22 million years ago. Just doing it for friends. And then other people heard about it and they came and he was doing that. Then he got employees and so on and so forth. So sometimes we think it has to be so formal. It doesn't have to be. What are you good at? What can you give to somebody or a community? What service can you provide? Let's start, let's share, let's grow. And then you bring in somebody along to partner with you, so it doesn't have to be complex. Me starting my business, it wasn't the most complex thing. My accountant set everything up. He gave me the documentation, I read through it. I got into, okay, this is what I need to be doing. Then I started building my clientele. Okay, I can do this for this person. What else can I do? I can go in and do an audit for the other person. And because I did that, the business has continued to now. So what can you offer? What do you have to offer? placed inside of you is to glorify Him, but it's also to help others. So if you're at a place where you're still not sure, start talking to the people around you. What can I do? If you really and truly have a desire to set up a business, there is something inside of you. The Bible says to some, there were 5 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent. All of us have some talents. Some of us have lots and lots of talent. All you need is this one thing. That's all you need. So find that and start the journey. And I'm available. If anybody wants to talk to me, find out about how things are going, if I can signpost you to an organization, a website, whatever, a book, I'm happy to do that, because I believe that we elevate each other for the good of all of us. So I will not talk anymore, because I know I am my father's daughter, we can talk forever. But I've got some questions that I want to share with you. So I'll give the questions to Wendy, and maybe you can post it on the page or whatever. If you can answer these questions, let's get together and have a conversation, because then you're ready to move forward. Okay? Thank you. What money you have at the moment, how you plan to sell to people, what's your marketing going to look like? Who are you going to sell to? Do you have a target audience? So if you have a business in mind now, are you just going to aim it at everybody? Or is it just going to be black people? Or is it going to be white people? Or is it going to be people of a certain age? Older women who have retired, older women who don't have kids anymore. Sometimes you have to be very, very specific. Because if you aim at everybody, then many people are not going to, because it's not for them, it's just for everyone. So if you want to start a business, who are you aiming at? And have you done your market research? What says that what you want to sell or what you want to do is going to work? How many times have you been to Costco and you've seen there's a table somewhere and they're chopping small meat or sausage and everybody's coming to try it? That's market research. The moment you taste it and you like it, you are buying one. And when you go home, you tell somebody that, oh, I bought this thing at Costco, it was really good. So, so when you want to start a business, why don't you try it out on people? If you want to become a counselor and set up your own practice, use the church. Oh, I've got this service, I'm happy to give 15 minutes or 30 minutes to, 10 people. If you like it, you can refer me to other people, or you can pay me this amount of money. How often do we do that? We want to start the business, the moment the idea comes, we just start, and when it doesn't go well, we lose all faith, we lose all happiness, and that's it. We go back to doing a job that we are not happy in. Try it on people first, because that is what's going to tell you that it actually needs to change a bit, or you can do something more with it, or actually it's fine. So your market research is necessary. After that, you need to set up your organization. Do you have a name for it? So I went through a process of, I had 10 names, and I reached out to family members and friends and said, which one sticks? Which one sounds good? Which one do you think will match me as a business owner? And people will come and say, oh, we like this one, but we also like this one. Okay, so which is your first choice? Which is your second? And in the end, I ended up with PFI, which is People First Initiatives. Because for me, it had to be about people. It had to say, we are in the business of working with people. We are in the business of building people. What will your business say? Once you have your title, your name, whatever, however you come across it, you have to register your business. Registering your business needn't be hard. Just get an accountant. They will register it for you. They will set up the tax for you. They're going to charge you, but it leaves you with the mind and the space, capacity to get on with that thing that you actually do and you enjoy doing. So if it is catering, you don't have to think about all the finances that do that for you. What advice I will give you is have a relationship with that accountant and have oversight over your accounts, because some accountants are not very good. Your money is going in and they're taking some and they're telling you there's nothing left. So just have an awareness of what things should look like so that you don't lose your way. And the marketing is very, very important at this point as well. Aside of everything that it takes in terms of your plan, your market research, the biggest thing for me is discipline. And I think that's where we lose things sometimes. We don't have discipline. We feel that the motivation will take us, but motivation only takes you a certain way. The getting into the dress or going to this particular venue, it lasts for a while. You have to be disciplined. Irrespective of how hard it gets, you have to be able to get up and keep going. And sometimes we fall short in that arena because it gets difficult. And this is why it's important that whatever it is that you do, you enjoy, you love. Because if you love it, even when you're tired, you will get up and you go. But if you don't love it, it's like, I'll just go back to workshop and then that's it. You mustn't lose your way. And you need to remember that it is not just for you. So if you're doing it for others and not just yourself, that is also the discipline and the motivation you get to keep going. It's going to get scary. It is really scary. There's some months where you're there and you're like, oh my goodness, I've not had any business. How am I going to survive? What am I going to do? But if you believe in that which you are doing, you must believe in what you're doing. And you know, as human beings, apparently when we get to a certain age, everything we do is programmed. 95% of what we do is programmed. I don't know how many of you drive, but have you ever noticed that when you're going to a certain destination, church, you take one way? That's the way you know, that's how you program yourself to do. There was a day last year when I was going to my brother's house, it's 9 minutes from my house, and there's a road that I take, no traffic lights, I can't bother, and I go that way. And I went the first day, and I noticed that there was roadwork, so that road was blocked. So I went home. 2 days later, I went on the same road. I got there, I said,
it happens to me so many times.
I got there and I wrote to myself, I'm programmed. Serious, and that's life. Yeah. We're so used to doing things a certain way, so the moment it gets difficult, we revert back to the way we know. When you want to start a business and you want it to be successful, you should know, number one, that you are programmed. Number two, to be able to be successful, you have to unprogram yourself. So you have to challenge yourself to step into the norm. What you don't know is what is really good to do. I started my business in 2021. And you know, at the beginning, it's like the honeymoon period. You're so excited, and you're doing your videos and putting it on LinkedIn and everything. And then you meet somebody who could become a potential client. You're asking yourself, what do I say to them? How do I go to them? And you're thinking maybe you have to be a certain way and so on and so forth. No. You should be able to be who you are in the business that you're doing. If you have to be somebody else, then there's an issue. So be who you are and keep going. But know that you will meet obstacles on the way. And one of the things that you need is an accountability partner. You look at yourself, you've got people around you. Ask somebody, ask 3 people today, what would you say is my calling, my gift? What am I good at? Some of you we know, you may not want to know, but we know and we will tell you. But you have to, you see, for something to last long, you have to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy something, you finish it a week, 2 weeks, it will just go. So why not link it to something that you're passionate about? Yeah? And I was listening to Miles Monroe a long time ago, and he said, what are the problems that you see that really annoy you? You walk out into the world and you see something and you're like, these people doing it this way. What are the things that you see like that, even in the church, outside, in your workplace? What are you seeing? Those are areas that you can capitalize on. Those are things that you can use to form a business. So what I would want you to do right now is, what are the things that really annoy you? It doesn't matter what it is, because you may not see that it can be turned into a business, but somebody else will look at it and say, well, you could do it this way. So just make a note, even if you don't have that thing to mind, put that question down. What are the things that annoy you? And then later on, you can come back to it.
Negative people.
For some people,
negative people.
We want other people to be impacted. We want to
all that are negative.
So I will say to you, if you want to start a business, don't just look at what somebody is doing. Oh, that person is doing this and it looks good, so I'm going to do it. No, because that wouldn't last long. What you want to change, what you can add to, what your skill set is, what people need, those are the things that you need to be focused on. And I say that because the time that we are in is 2023. Today, change is happening quicker than it ever happened in our lifetimes and before. And tomorrow, change will happen quicker than it did today. So in order to capitalize, in order to have a competitive advantage, you need to be able to learn. You need to be able to unlearn some of the things that you know already, and you need to be able to relearn. This is something that a guy called Alvin Toffler says. He says, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read or write. It will be those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because if you're not learning, you're literally staying still and you're going backwards because change is happening. And the Bible says you cannot put new wine into old wineskins. But we walk around putting new wine in old wineskins all the time, and we wonder why things are not working. You have to change your you do not want to become obsolete. So every time, even in our workplaces, sometimes they're saying we need to improve, we need to do a course to get the latest certificate for this. You have to do that in your life. Okay? And the question now is, what is your idea? And do you have faith about that? Sorry, I need to sit down wasn't for me. If you don't believe in your idea, how do you sell it to somebody else? So you don't think you're a good cook, but you know that people want to eat food, so you go and start a catering business. You don't think you're a good, so why should I come and eat what you don't think is good? But that's what we do. Oh, this thing looks good. We don't trust that we have the capability or that even the understanding to be able to do it. So why? And it can be a product, it can be a service, but what you believe about it. That's why you go back to what your skill is, what your strength is, and ask yourself, what am I good at? And what can I give to the church? What can I give to the community? What can I give that will benefit somebody? Like I started with, my business was born out of this thing people are doing wrong. HR is supposed to be compassionate. We're relating to people. We're prompting people to what they are able to do, what their capabilities are, not telling them that they are rubbish. Because once you do that, you break a person down and you don't get the best from them. So why are we doing that? Because people are power hungry, etc. But if we do it the right way, people come into the workplace happy and they give more than they were given last week because they are happy. And some of the analogies that I use, I have a niece, Mahalia. Mahalia is a year and a half. The moment I walk through the door, Mahalia takes my phone and gives it to me. She goes into my bag and takes my wallet and gives it to me. I'm like, thank you, Mahalia, you're a good girl. Then she's looking around for things that she'll give because I've given her a pat on the back, because I've encouraged her. Mahalia will grow to be 25 and will come and work at BT. If that manager is not seeing that Mahalia is doing well and does not say, Mahalia, you're doing well, she's not going to give her best. We are human beings. We want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. So, what do you believe about yourself? What can you do? What can you give? And like I said at the beginning, what you do is not just for you, it's for everybody as well. You want to set up a business, so now you've got your idea, you believe that you can do it. What next? Where is your plan? What will your business plan look like? How much money do you need to start this business? Can the church give you that money? Can Sister Wendy give you that money? Or do you need to go to a bank for them to support you? If that is the case, if you've got the money to start your business, then this may not be necessary. But if you need somebody to fund your business, if you're coming to me to say, can you invest in this? Just telling me that you want me to buy you however, it's not going to work. Because what shows that the business idea you have is going to work aside of your plan. Okay, so my plan is, I want to do catering, I need to buy equipment. My equipment is going to cost me £2,000. I need another 1,000. My equipment, the other things that I need.
Please, I need to be, I'm sleeping.
So
I went
you go
to
to the bank and you present it to them, or you come to me, you present it, and I say, okay, when I look at your figures, you are able to get 5,000 at the end of the month. The wider society. And there's a saying that all great things start on the inside. It's not out there. This phone that I have, whatever you have in your, somebody thought of it as a man thinker and created it. You know, just the other day I was watching a film and the film was in the future and I was like, this thing is happening now. People have thought of things, have watched videos, seen ideas of things and created items that we are using now. But the thought came, 16 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And don't be limited by time. Sometimes you do things in the background for 16 years and then one day it pops up, everybody's saying you're lucky. They don't know the work that you did in the background. Don't be limited by time. All great things start in your mind. You have to have a vision. And you know what? This is the time to do great things. So you want to start a business. My first question to you would be, what do you want to do? Because there's a saying that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. What do you want to do? Sometimes people say, oh, I'm not sure, but if somebody gave me an idea, I will do something. Let's pull it back a little bit. Why do you want to start a business? And I'm throwing the question out there. If anybody is confident and wants to share, why do you want to start a business?
To get money.
to get money. So, no, that's honest. Thank you very much. You want to get some money. Anybody else?
Solve the problem, like, you want to solve the problem, because I believe that it's when you are able to find something, find a gap, like you're facing, that's the money become ultimately more. I want to do something on my own.
Thank you very much for sharing. Do you want to take over the top? Because I think what you're saying is exactly right. I'm just joking. So many of us want to start businesses. We want freedom. Yeah? Who wants to get up every single day, 6 a.m., and then drive to wherever and work for somebody, see them making all the millions, and then you are making your small money. And the worst thing is you're not even happy doing that thing. You don't enjoy it. So all of us want some flexibility. All of us want some freedom. And, you know, a lot of people say, I want money, I just want to get money. Okay. We all want money because money is the medium with which we live, we survive. But like you said, if you resolve an issue, if you give something or create something that gives to other people, you will always have that business because you've answered the need. And when I asked you, what do you want to do? What type
And
of
another
business?
thing, another thing with business, you have to have the passion to back that business, because if you don't have the passion, you won't be happy with whatever business you undertake.
And if we go back to the work that we do currently, a lot of us we're just doing it to try and get some money to pay our bills and go on holiday every so often, right? You have to have your passion, but your passion will come through what you enjoy doing. How can I even put this? So sometimes you go into a room and you see that maybe somebody is sad or unhappy, and you are the one person that is able to bring them joy. That is a gift in right there. And you can use that as a business and earn money. You can get so much money from that. We've got counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, all of that. What is your passion? What gift?
You've even said it because you love empowering people, and that is why you went into HR.
For me, exactly that. I love working with people, and I think I'm all about seeing people improve. So HR gives me that platform to be able to support people, get people from one place to another. So it works for me. But ask yourself the question, what is mine? What do I enjoy doing? And if you don't know because you've not really looked at yourself, you've got people around you, ask somebody. Ask 3 people today. What would you say is my calling, my gift? What am I good at? Some of you we know. You may not want to know, but we know and we will tell you. But you have to, you see, for something to last long, you have to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy something, you finish it a week, 2 weeks, it will just go. So why not link it to something that you're passionate about? Yeah? And I was listening to Miles Monroe a long time ago, and he said, what are the problems that you see that really annoy you? You walk out into the world and you see something and you're like, look at these people doing it this way. What are the things that you see like that, even in the church, outside, in your workplace? What are you seeing? Those are areas that you can capitalize on. Those are things that you can use to form a business. So what I would want you to do right now is, what are the things that really annoy you? It doesn't matter what it is, because you may not see that it can be turned into a business, but somebody else will look at it and say, well, you could do it this way. So just make a note, even if you don't have that thing to mind. Put that question down. What are the things that annoy me? And then later on, you can come back to it.
Negative people.
For some people,
Negative people.
We want other people to be impacted. We want to
All that are negative.
So I will say to you, if you want to start a business, don't just look at what somebody is doing. Oh, that person is doing this and it looks good, so I'm going to do it. No, because that wouldn't last long. What you want to change, what you can add to, what your skill set is, what people need, those are the things that we need to be focused on. And I say that because the time that we are in is 2023. Today, change is happening quicker than it ever happened in our lifetime. You don't even eat meat. Today you are chewing meat, have you? So it's a case of we start off a certain way.
Some people, their teeth are falling.
And respect. If I am in a place of respect is not being served, I will speak my mind, but I will get up from the table and walk away because I demand respect. vision or the idea of what you want to obtain. But if you don't check what you believe about yourself internally, you will get halfway and you will drop off. So the most important part for me is what your mindset is, where you are at, what you believe about yourself. And Oprah Winfrey makes a statement. She says, in life, you don't get what you want, you get what you believe. So we go right back to as a mind thinking. Somebody, oh, I want a car, oh, I want to have this big flash car. But deep down, they think, when am I even going to get money to buy this car? My family is not rich, so there's incongruence. We're not aligned with what we want and what we're thinking, so that has to be changed. And life has no limitations except the ones that you place on them. God is happy to say, you know what, my child, you can become anything, but you are the one that says, oh, anything but this, anything but that, I can't actually do that, it's you. So you have to change that thing. And my first question for you this afternoon is, what do you believe about yourself? And I really want you to think about that. What do you believe? Do you believe that you're too old? Oh, I'm from this village. Nobody in that village ever did anything magnificent, so I can't go anywhere. I'm only a female. It's a man's world. What do you believe about yourself? Because that will determine how far you can go. And these are the thoughts that hold us back. So please, bear that in mind. And I want to share with you a bit of a framework. So there's something called the 3 M's. 3 M's. The first one is mindset. Mindset is all about what you believe about you and what you believe about the world around you. Oh, it's a cool world. Oh, this world is no hope. If you believe that, when have you got to get registered your business? Well, all the ideas have been taken. So when will you set up a business, or when will you determine to do that? Your mindset is the one thing that goes with you everywhere you go. You may change the environment to a place where there's sun, where there's beach every day, but if you don't change your mind, you will remain as you are. The next M is motivation. What drives you to achieve? What is your desire? What is your purpose? If you don't have a good mindset, and then you top it up with no motivation, you are going nowhere. It's like a car with battery is dead, with no petrol. You're not going anywhere. So motivation is important. Methods. What are your methods? What are the steps and the processes you're going to go through to attain that which you want? What is your approach? And let me just give you an example here. So if I can use this one, somebody who December 31st decides that this year, next year I'm going to get married, so I need to get into a size 14 dress. At the moment I'm a size 18 or size 20. That's motivation. I want to get into that dress and look stunning, the best I've ever looked, okay? You've got your methods in terms of, if I change my portion sizes, if I decide that I won't eat after 7 p.m., that's your methods. If you follow those things, you will lose weight. If I exercise, you will lose weight. And then your mindset, actually, I know I can. I've done it before, I'm able to do it. You will progress. But if you're missing one of those 3, you get only so far and you fall back. So if you get somewhere and then you think to yourself, well, everybody in my family is big, what's the point in you trying? That's your mindset speaking, and you're not going anywhere. If you have the mindset, but you don't have the motivation, so there's nothing that you're working towards. The wedding is not happening, your son's graduation is not happening, or you don't want a summer board for anything, then why are you going to bother to do it? Again, if you have the mindset and you have the motivation, but you don't have the method, so you're not eating right, you're not exercising, you're not talking to yourself and encouraging yourself, my friend, you'll get that way January 15th and then you'll stop till December 31st again. So those 3 M's are really, really important. And even when it comes to business, if you don't tell yourself that you can, if you don't believe that somebody has done it so I can also do it, you're not going anywhere. You'll get halfway, it gets difficult, and then you fall back. So the 3 M's are very, very important. And there are some villains, some of the things that actually come against us. Number 1 is BS, and it's not the usual BS that you know. This one is the belief system. Back again to mindset. What do you believe about your life, about your family, about your race, about your culture? That is holding you back. Check that. Number 2, lies. Limiting ideas entertained. What are you entertaining? My mom will say, oh, where I've reached in life, I said, should I be doing something? I'm old now. Really? There's a man who started his business at the age of 80. You are 60 something, what's your problem? As long as you've got the mind, as long as you can find the tools, you are able to do it. That shouldn't be what stops you. And I'm moving forward a bit, but one of the things that I want to say to you is, whatever God has given you is not just for you. It's not just about you. It's about the children that you bring into this world. Just setting an example for them. It's about the family that's around you, and it's about the wider society and the economy. If you are to start a business now and the business stands, you employ people. You contribute to the GDP of the economy. So it's not about you. So if there